Hi, this is Carolyn Logan. I'm here today for the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here with Bill Pugh, who's running for mayor of Sumner. Bill, why don't you start off a little bit telling us about yourself in about 60 seconds?
60 seconds. Okay, I'm not and never have been an elected official,
Okay.
but I have been in government for 42 years. Most of the time with the city of Tacoma, last 9 years with the city of Sumner.
Okay.
Okay, in the capacity as Public Works Director and Assistant City Manager. I've covered a broad range of municipal activities such as building and land use permitting, roads, streets, construction of major capital facilities, brownfield development like the whole renovation of the Foster Waterway, and a whole bunch of utilities. So that's what I've done professionally. Staff of over 900 in Tacoma, a lot less in Sumner. I am an engineer. Don't hold that against me.
Okay.
Professional engineer. I have a master's of engineering from Penn State, go Nittany Lions, and also engineering
My
degree
mother went to
from
the University of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. And also from Seattle U with the Jesuits.
Okay.
Let's see. Organizations have been involved in Sumner Rotary since 2011. Was a president. Now I'm a past president, involved in the YMCA advisory board, was involved in Citizens of Healthy Bay,
Okay.
all those kinds of things. Let's see. Married, 5 grandchildren, and 2 dogs.
Okay. Sounds good. Why are you running for office, and what do you hope to accomplish?
Wow, why am I running? Sometimes I wonder. My wife has asked me that. Why are you doing this?
Okay.
I go back to what my dad told me. And he was the one that lived up to what he told me. He says, when you retire, never stop doing things. Because if you do, your health is going to fail you. You've got to keep moving ahead and progressing. So now that I've retired twice from Tacoma and from Sumner, I says, why not continue trying to use the expertise I did, that I've gained, to build community, because that is a passion that I've had over the years. It's sort of what floats my boat and keeps me going. Now, in terms of what I have to accomplish, there's a long list.
Okay.
One is protecting neighborhoods. For the most part, the reason why I live in Sumner versus Pierce County is that we actually have police protection and we actually have a response, which is really good. But I'm seeing increased evidence of opioid crisis and drug activity, and a lot of it in our commercial areas, and I think we need to address that. I think we have some housing issues that are coming up. In 5 years, the majority of our workforce is going to be millennials. We do not have much housing for millennials, and I think we need to be looking at providing that type of housing. Take advantage of our sounder station and access to the workforce. Another area is the fact that we have a lot of older persons in our community and our neighborhoods, as they don't want to get or are able to maintain their properties. We don't have any senior housing, nice senior housing,
Okay.
and so we need to be able to, I think, build that up so they have some place to go. One that's sort of strange, but that's protecting some of our existing industries from flooding.
Okay.
We have a major employment center in the manufacturing industrial center in the north part of Sumner. The White River dynamics of that have really changed over the years, and it's vital that we protect those industries. Small ones like Amazon and Costco and that type of thing. So I think we need to work on that. One thing that's frustrated me since I first started working in 2008 and then moved to Sumner in 2010 is we still have the same vacant commercial properties. In fact, some of them have, like the old QFC site, have gotten worse. People have left, and it frustrates me that nothing is happening. And so I think we need to figure out why nothing is happening, and try to make something happen so that they can't sit there. Because after a while, you actually get a sense of blight and inactivity, which I don't think is healthy. Ensure that our downtown stays strong. It's our heart and soul. It is Main Street. It does have that character, but as the dynamics around us change, we have to make sure that we're investing in that and keeping it healthy. And then finally, overall, is that People talk about Sumner as the old small town USA, which is true, but the world changes around us, and we have to adapt to those changes and try to keep our small town feeling while still dealing with the changes that are coming at us from every direction.
Okay. You mentioned business and some of the things going on in the flooding. Just sort of generally, how do you intend to support the business community more specifically?
Well, number one is it's all about relationships. And since I've worked in Sumner, I've made it a point, for instance, downtown, to have relationships with the business owners, to go in and talk to them. And they've gone through and changed from the Sumner Downtown Association now to the Sumner, SDPA, Promotions Association. And I keep on maintaining those relationships. What are your needs? What are your issues? And trying to help them meet those needs in a supportive way. The other one would be to, our staff is too small, and frankly, when it comes to economic development, I don't think experienced enough to be able to do it themselves. So when I was in Tacoma, the only way we got things done was through partnerships, whether it was other governmental agencies or whether it was the chamber, the Economic Development Corporation, Pierce County, that's the only way you got things done. And I think Sumner, for a while here, hasn't reached out enough in those partnerships to say, okay, wait a minute, let's identify what some of those critical needs are and work together to make things happen.
Okay. Do you support a city B&O tax as a new source of new revenue? I guess the underlying question with this is, A, do you think new revenue is needed? B, do you support a city B&O tax as that source?
Well, I'll say no, I do not support a city B&O tax.
Okay.
And my wife ran a small business in Sumner for 1 year, a floral shop in the windmill. And I was on the receiving end of hearing about all the requirements and the taxes and everything else that she had to deal with to run that business. And she put in, the 60 plus hours a week for 52 weeks. All of those businesses would need would be another ongoing city-imposed tax. Okay. So I'm not in favor. The other thing is that people don't understand. Sometimes they look at the industrial area out there and they say, wait a minute, there's no sales tax revenue coming from it. There's all the trucks and everything else, but they don't realize that the whole assessed valuation associated with that area has resulted in Sumner's property tax being one of the lowest around.
Okay, so the industrial helping to pay more property tax than the residential property tax.
They don't have the sales tax. I mean, the big one is sales tax. That's always what drives it. But the fact that there's significant assessed valuation out there and stuff does help Sumner residents. Okay.
Are you aware of any current development fees or permitting issues in the Sumner area?
No. Let me go back to the prior one and talk about. I think all municipalities and government, but especially local, are facing an issue, and that is the ongoing divide between rates of inflation, 2 to 3%, and the IMAN, 1% limitation on property tax increases. Sumner Council has been faced with that ongoing divide to where you have to keep on making things more efficient or cutting services, whatever, to be able to make things meet. And they've done some great things, I think, in terms of moving the courts out, moving 911 out, senior services, being operated on a privatized basis. But that's still something that needs to be addressed, and haven't come up with a great answer to it, but it's going to be an issue. Okay. Now, what was the second part?
The second part, the last one is about the aware of any current development fees or permitting issues.
Yes.
Okay. Can you elaborate a bit?
Okay.
What you know of and how you feel about it.
Sorry. In terms of development fees, I'm not aware of any. Sumner has its building permit fees, its systems development fees. Other agencies have impact fees, associated with them, and I'm not aware of any additional fees coming out there. Okay. I know Sumner reviews its system development fees on a biennial basis, by a consultant to make sure they're well-founded, that they're as low as they can be, along with rates, and I think they're fairly competitive, with other jurisdictions. Permit process, That's something that needs to be worked on. Online permitting is the norm, and larger agencies have had the resources to implement it. Sumner's tried to implement it, but you have to have strong systems supporting online permitting, and one of those is financial systems. And frankly, Sumner's been running an outdated financial system that really couldn't support the online permitting. Okay. So now they've gone through to where they're going to be upgrading that. And once they do that, then I think we can get more into online permitting and go beyond just a simple permit into the more complex permits, which will aid in businesses being able to have the architects and everybody else do business like they do normally with a lot of the outside world.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming today.
Well, it's been very nice to meet you and to be interviewed, Faye, and go past just a one-line answer. Yeah.